Hi everyone, today is Sunday the 29th of June 2025 and welcome to my Flosstube number 2. I'd like to thank you all for your kind messages and comments, messages from my family, children in particular, that were really positive and you know, it's an encouragement to come back and film Flosstube number 2, which is what I'm doing today. Today I've got a little finish, sort of finish in a series, and some other bits and pieces to show you. Since I last filmed, I've been to Sydney for a weekend, so that was really nice, lovely weather compared to the weather we've had here in Dunedin this weekend. So yeah, I'll get right into showing you what I've got lined up here today. My sort of finish, kind of finish in a series, I need my glasses on to have a look, is the series, The 12 Days of Christmas by Beez. And I had number 2 kind of half done, and I've managed to finish my, oh, I've got a really bright light here this morning, sorry. Finish my number 2 stocking. So that's nice. I'm doing it on 36 count, something sugar, fibre on a whim, cream and sugar, fibre on a whim. And I stitched 2 over 2 on 36 count. I particularly like the wee green in this, the wee branches under the doves, which is really nice. So I'll put that away now. I'm not quite sure when I'll get on to number 3, but that's that. Doing Flosstube also has been pretty good at getting me back into doing some stitching, which is great. So my next lot of stitching is on my sort of 1 letter a day project, which is Antionette from European Reproduction samplers. I did the A, B and C. I think I had maybe up to the O done, so I've continued along that line, and then coming right over to the other side, I finished that, I did that wee basket and the wreath underneath it. So I'm kind of at the point down the bottom where there's quite a big cartouche, and I'm sort of working my way down the side of it. So that was a bit more progress on Antionette, which is nice. She is on Antionette 30 cents count Eureka by Fox and Rabbit, and I'm using Silks for You PR 70 or 070. Is there black, so yeah, it's really nice to use as long as I don't have dry hands, which I do in the winter, so I've got to remember to use moisturiser for that. My travel companion, my security rabbit on the aeroplane, is Maggie Mae, and so I think I had the head done last time, and it's a good one for lots of fill-in, which is good on the plane, although I managed to lose a pencil and some floss. I wasn't going to pick them up, but I've got this far on her, and got her cardigan finished. Just had like that much of a piece of thread left off a whole skein, so that's kind of a downside when you stitch 2 over 2, as you go through your floss quite quickly. So yeah, just got her pinafore and to finish filling in, and her shoes, and then she'll be done. So that's sweet Maggie Mae. What did I work on next? Oh, yesterday I got out, actually I bought one of my project bags in that I make to show you kind of how I set up my bags. And that was a little red hoop that just fell out. So this is Elizabeth. She's on a needle and flax. Sorry, needle's still in there. I was doing some over 1 last night there. And going the other way, I finished this parrot and filling in one of these flowers. And from here, I have the border, the bones of the border done, but I've filled in all the wee green bits, doodads. so that's quite good easy stitching, so I might actually leave that out now when I've just got 5 minutes. I can do some more doodads, but she's really pretty, and that's her there, Elizabeth Ann Haig, and that's by the Essamplaire, who I think I ordered off a website, maybe had to fax away a form, and it wasn't the easiest place to order from for us in New Zealand, but yeah, that's that. And she is on, there's my bit of paper gone, lost my notes. Elizabeth Ann Haig, 32 count Dolly Madison by Needle and Flaps, so 2 over 2 on that. So I'll put her to the side. I make my own project bags. There's the back, that's the front. I think it was Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial I used. Here I'll just show you the inside. Hopefully not get a glare inside fabric, which is really nice. It's a shame that all the contents of the bag cover that up. I should have put that on the back. I'm a floss bobbinator, so I make wee folios that I can stick my floss in, put my colour legend in, and they just, I've got one of those in most of my bags. I also may have a little pouch that sort of matches, that just has extra DMC or whatever I'm using, so that way if I run out, I've got floss with me. What else have I got in here? Oh, that's my working copy of my patterns, we won't deal with that. And in all of my bags I put one of these wee tins. It's really fortunate that the makers of these wee sewing tins actually put chocolates in them as well, which is a wee treat for us stitchers. But I love these wee tins. There's the name of the places, people that make them. So I've got quite a few of them, and in each tin I have my, well, these are my creamy coloured Kahana scissors, and I'll often have a wee pencil, IKEA pencils, they're very good pencils, they fit, or this was a wee fine tip pen I got in Australia last week. So, and I'll also put in a like a piece of felt that I sew around the edge so it fits in. I'll have a needle minder at the top to put my needles in, and then because it's the felt, my orts just stick to it, which is really good, and I can just put the lid on anyway. Most of them will have a spare packet of needles underneath, and I enjoy these Peacemakers needles. Some of them will have a 3-inch square underneath, so that when I'm starting off I can use that. And so these wee tins go in all of my bags, my project bags. So that's kind of a wee bit about my setup for stitching. Put that over on the trusty chair. Next I've got this lovely piece that I found yesterday in an op shop. I'll get all the glare on it, sorry. Maybe about there looks right. It's beautifully framed. It's framed by Photo and Frame in Courtville Place in Invercargill, which is a wee bit ironic because that's where I grew up. And I think it's maybe a Cedar Hill, not really, Cedar Hill pattern from 80s, 90s. But I just thought it was really lovely. Beautifully framed, and for $5 I'll find a spot somewhere here on my wall of curiosities to put it. So I thought they were stitches that needed being saved. So that's my save the stitches. I've also brought along a piece that I've stitched in the past, because I thought, well, one of my framed pieces off my wall, if I can get her right there. The light is very bright coming in the side of my sewing room this morning. Let's see if it's a wee bit better on that side. No, not really, but I think you can see her all anyway. I'll just sort of hold her up, maybe back here. Maybe that might be a wee bit better. But anyway, I stitched this one January. And I don't know if you can see the initials there, FK and AM. So my maiden name was Monroe and my middle name is Anne. So, and my married name is Kyle. So it encompasses all of my initials that have been and are now. And my mother's name actually is Anne Monroe. So it kind of spoke to me because it had my initials and it had Mum's initials in it as well, just by chance. But yeah, I enjoyed stitching that. It's on a piece of XJU, and I couldn't find the name of the colour. Maybe, I don't think I was writing down. But here's a copy of the pattern. So it was looks like a Berlin woolwork pattern or piece originally. And it's from Sabine at European Reproduction Samplers. So you'll find that online. FKAM 1896. So that's a wee finish that's on my wall inside. And I'll get down a piece. I've got 4 or 5 pieces up on the wall, so I'll framed inside, so I'll bring them along periodically and let you have a look. This is my latest sampler in my antique sampler collection. You can see that. Lots of alphabets. I got that when I was in Australia, in Melbourne. When was that? Oh, a few weeks ago. In a place called Dalesford, in an antique mall there, which was fabulous. It was just probably the closest thing I will have been to what the American antique malls look like. Just lots of booths by different people, and so a bit more of a close up to all those alphabets, and then there's a French verse along the bottom here, and there was a wee bit of paper with it. Sorry, bumped the camera. She's 1860, and there was a wee bit of paper with it that says that the inscription bit down the bottom says, "Sweet memory made in Malsell for her dear mother by Angela Reusit." So I thought that was really nice. Sweet memory that was made for this wee girl's mum. So that was lovely. So I've got a few antiques, and I'll bring samplers, and I'll bring them in as well each time, I hope, and let you have a look at them. I'd like to chart them, but I haven't worked out the charting software yet, so that will come one day. So the next thing I want to share isn't cross stitch but still stitching, is this is probably my favourite bookshop. It's a Japanese bookshop called Kinokuniya, and they have one in Sydney. So needless to say, when I was there last weekend, I made a couple of trips there, and for probably the last maybe 15 years I've purchased craft books from Amazon Japan. Just muddled my way through. I don't read Japanese, so I was just really looking at the covers and muddling my way through what I thought was in them and how to buy them. Excuse me. But I do have quite a lovely collection of Japanese craft books, so I added to that collection with these lovely embroidery books that I got. This one is more like brooches and things like that. Some lovely pieces in them. I've tried to find a camera to film overhead, but that wasn't very successful, so you'll just get me sort of flipping through what's in them. Oh, look at those flowers. Gosh, I remember in 80s, having, when Fimo was all the rage, or Fimo, having a red rose that was made by a friend of mine who was making them, and on the same sort of pin stick. So yeah, that's a lovely one. I can give it ISBNs if anyone's interested in them. The next one is Embroidered Garden Flowers, and this is by Kazuko Aoki. And again, this is lovely. Lots of instructions for embroidering flowers, berries, wildflowers even, it looks like. Sorry, it's a bit hard to show you. I should have got an overhead camera, but oh, they're lovely in the blue, aren't they? So yeah, lots of lovely things to embroider in there, lots of ideas and inspiration. This is another one by Kazuko, seasonal flower embroidery. A couple of these actually are in English, they've been translated into English. So we find lots of these roses and lovely photography in her box. Let's see. Where's some of her stitching? Oh, look at that. Look at that bouquet. So beautiful. So I'm about to do the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 8, which is a slow stitch project. If anyone wants to have a wee look about it, go and look up Roxy Creations by Rachel and Roxy Creations by Sarah on Instagram, and they're both on YouTube as well. And they do lots of lovely stitching and junk journaling and a running. Those pretty pink flowers. And up to volume 8 in a slow stitch project. So I'm doing that at the beginning, starting that with them at the beginning of next month, which will be nice. This one is Yumiko Hayaguchi. This one in Japanese, so not too fluent in that, but these ones are more like felt stitched on, and there's some lovely, maybe this might be easier to really flick through. Look at that, so nice. That would make a nice wee pouch pattern. Oops, drop that. That one. Wee bees in the lily of the valley. Yeah, it's felt in all of hers. Look at the strawberries and the strawberry flowers. Gorgeous. So I hope to put some of this into my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery project. That was sort of what was behind that. This is a lovely one on stitching birds. I haven't really, I'd like to do my birds a little bit more bird-like when I stitch. So this was really good. So I take out because it actually has up close pictures. So you can have a wee look at how they've done shading, and I'm trying to find who this is by, but I can't actually find another closer stitching one. I can't actually find who's authored this book. But yeah, that's a lovely bird. Oops, pattern. Sorry. Close up so you can see how the shading and the direction of the threads. So I thought that would be a handy. Here's some of the pictures of the finished products. It would be a handy resource in my craft library. This one is by, again, I can't see a name. Again, lovely embroidery. greens. Lovely. I've actually recently bought some self-adhesive solvay that you can put through a photocopier. So for a pattern like, say, the first one I showed, where it's all in a, something like that, where it's all in a square, you can actually just photocopy the whole pattern onto the solvay and stick it on your piece of fabric, and away you go stitching. Actually, I did really like those. That's partly why I bought this book when I picked it up. Kind of into making, actually I'll get them and show you. I've got them sitting here beside me. Wee patches out of vintage embroideries. Those brooches are beautiful. Get a bit of a focus there, camera. Very nice. What else is in here? Oh, that looks like the one on the front cover. That's a better picture of it. Lovely. Let's grab the wee bits that I've been making over here. Whoops, sample fell down. These are vintage transfers that I've got a wee while ago from an op shop, and so I've ironed them on. Some work, some don't, just yeah, potluck. And I've just got a wee tin of them that I just work on. I've got a few threads in there that are just odds and ends, no particular colours. I just pick them up and stitch. So, and then when I'm finished, what I do is I'll show you the back. I have these crochet trims and things that I've cut off doilies that I've used. So I find ones that fit, and then I blanket stitch around and get the trim to fit the piece that I'm doing. So I've done a few of them. That wee one there. This was the first one I did. That was a lovely wee flower. I've already used one on a piece that I'm doing, and then there's that wee one there. So it's quite, so I just do down the sides and then straight across the top with straight pieces, and add in extra stitches in the corners to make them a little bit more sturdy. That one needs an extra stitch, I can see there, that's a bit wobbly, but so I'm hoping to add those into my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery next project. I've got 3 books to go, then I'll leave you. This one's lovely, lovely wreaths. This is, I don't know if it's by Eula or whether that's a brand name, I'm not 100% sure. But let's look at that autumn one. So that's a project that I could use the solvay that I purchased. Gorgeous bag. Just do the whole thing. There was a one with the lavender. Oh, the blue's nice too. Actually, the blue's done in a hoop on the back cover, which is lovely. There was one I found in here. That one looks lovely on the wee purse, doesn't it? Where was the particular one? That was the Lily of the Valley. Gorgeous. Oh, I love this. Those beautiful tulips. And be a great travel project, just with a few threads and good work on it. Oh, look at these pansies. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Where's the one that I picked it up and every time I see something, those wee round bags. Lovely wee pouches. Oh there, that's the one I really loved when I picked up the book in the shop. Gorgeous. So yeah, that's the cover, Eula. I do have another one by the same personal company as well, which is beautiful. Second last one, again I can't find a person's name on it. Those berries are almost like so 3D looking. Yeah, some. Look at those. They look like hellebores, aren't they beautiful? My hellebores are just starting to come out in my garden now. I love when the hellebores come out. Oh, look at the mushrooms and toadstools. This has inspired me. I think I'll might start one of these today. Oh, look at that on the wall. Gorgeous. More pansies. They'd make a lovely project bag. Where was the last one? Looks like a cushion, but I could see a project bag from a cross stitch out of one of those. Gorgeous. Butterflies. What else have we got here? Gorgeous, that mustard, isn't it? Kind of into mustard at the moment. I never really liked it, but I have a thing for mustard at the moment. And this one is volume 1 of from what I can make out, and I haven't looked at it with Google Translate yet, is cross stitch, embroidery and needle felting, punch needle type things. So there's cross stitch on the cross stitch patterns. So this is it seems to be like a magazine, a wee bit like Quilts Japan, and oh, that's what I loved. I just think that's gorgeous. So yeah, I've bought this one and I'll look out for it again on Amazon Japan. It looks like a magazine that's sort of right up my alley. How cute, the wee fairy and the flower. And all the instructions are at the back on how to do all of these. Just have a wee look and see what else is in here that might... Oh, there's a bit of sashiko stitching. And I promise this will be my last picture to you all. Let's have a look at that. Looks like... Love the linen colour in the background with that green, it's nice. And then those pansies and a wee bouquet. So that's a really lovely magazine, which I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but I'm sure Google Translate will help me with that later on in the day. So I think that's all my stitching and things for this time. I have been doing some secret stitching as well, so that's, can't show you that. And I don't know when I'll be back, probably in another couple of weeks. I do have another trip to Australia to do a workshop with the Roxy Creations girls. So it might be maybe after that when I've got something to show you from the workshop. I'm doing a wee bit of slow stitching, but I haven't got that here to show you. So yeah, that's all my bits and pieces that I've been working on. Thanks again for watching and subscribing and all your lovely comments. And I look forward to seeing you again in my Flosstube number 3. Bye.